Okay. Hello. Giving it a couple seconds so we can test out audio, make sure everything's crack-lacking. Make sure everything's nice and balanced, make sure everything's nice and chill before we get into the actual stream here. Because we are going to really quickly just make sure. Just gonna make sure you can actually hear me ever if you just make sure. Because I know that was an issue for a while. Just gonna make sure you can actually hear me. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try this. Let's see how this sounds balance-wise, and then we're gonna, and then we'll go ahead and then we're gonna go ahead and get started with everything. I think we're pretty solid. I think we're pretty solid. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, salutations friends, my name's Mariana Seeking Bond, otherwise known as No Ordinary Scholar, and today we are talking about my mid-year reading check-in. Lots of things to look at, lots of things to chat about. First things first, we're gonna go over is that apparently fucking Canva, Zionist company, everything fucking sucks. So I put a link down there for anyone else like me who's stuck, who's got a lot of stuff in here, and it's gonna need time to start transferring over to another thing, but for whatever duration that I'm like still trying to transition to a new app, I will have the link to snappa.com down in the description, because that is not a Zionist fucking company. It's essentially a very similar thing. They are obviously not as established as a company, so there's not as many, some of the features aren't there, but a lot of them are. It's essentially the same vibe, so go check that out instead while I work on getting my life together with this. It sucks. Everything fucking sucks. Links are also down there for the spreadsheets to help donate to people in like Haiti, Sudan, Congo, who are trying to raise money in GoFundMe's to escape the situations. That also links to Operation Olive Branch. And those links are down there, as well as the links to my own books, because we're all here because we like to read. I also like to write. And so we've got my books. We've got The Queen of Thieves, which is my YA spy series. And then we've got Imani and Aaliyah's Fashion Bible, which is my new adult romance. Imani and Aaliyah's Fashion Bible is also on Itchio. That link is also down below, and you can get the book for free. Donations are more than accepted if you would like, but you can also get it for free on that link that is down below. But today we are talking about my mid-year book freakout tag, the books that I have read and wanted to read and everything in between for this up at this point in the year. Let's get going. So the first question in the tag is best book that you've read so far, and two answers here. One, of course, it's Babel. That was the book when it came out, and I fully understand why. Also can't, like, having read it now, I just can't stand the fucking white women that were bitching because they saw themselves so much in the villain of the book, and they were offended to be the villain of the book. Yeah, Babel, fantastic. If I can get my life together, that's going to be my next stream. We'll see when that happens. I have so many, like, highlights and notes and stuff that I'm gathering from this book. That's the problem. That's really the problem. The other favorite book I've read was The Scourge Between Stars. I might like horror now. I loved this book. I inhaled it. I just breezed past it. I have not felt so viscerally impacted by a book, and especially not in this way. I am excited to read more horror. I want to see what else this author has read or has written. And yes, a fantastic, fantastic read that was. Up next, best sequel I've read so far. I actually think this might be one of, if not the only sequels I've read this year, and that is The Survivor Stands. This is book 3 of the Catastrophe Incoming series by Amy Donnellan. I have read book 4, and I will be doing a review and everything on book 4. I just really, really liked book 3. Let me look and make sure if that's the only sequel I've read. I think so. Oh, I mean, I've read one that sucked, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, I think the only sequels I've read have been Amy Donnellan stuff. I'm blowing out the mic because I'm a loud talker. We're just gonna tweak both of these down a little bit. I'm sorry. Hopefully that sounds okay. Okay. Next question. But yeah, The Survivor Stands, fantastic book. That was the one where we are in a town that's getting attacked, and it's very similar to a lot of what kind of started Ren, who is the cover character, what started her journey and what kind of pushed her to go out and about to take care of other people as well as trying to stop the people behind these attacks. Fantastic book, amazingly well done. This is not the only Amy Donnellan we will see in this stream. This is not the only one, I assure you of that. Next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to, so Let Them Burn just looks so good. Look at this cover. This cover is gorgeous with like the pink and purple like swirling fire typhoon thing going on here. Really looks good. Really, really looks cool. A new release I have read that y'all should want to read that came out this February, new release. That is Imani and Aaliyah's Fashion Bible. May not sound familiar. I don't know. It is an autistic cheerleader romance. We've got these two girls who start dating, and one of them's autistic, semi-verbal, and so interacting can be awkward and difficult at times, and they essentially start really bonding over like Aaliyah, who is a fashion girly, starting to get into influencing, and Imani, who loves photography, taking photos of her. It's a whole thing, and it's super cute. It's sad at points, but it's super cute, super fun. You should read it. Up next, my most anticipated release of the second half of the year is A Crimson Covenant by Amy Donnellan. I have read the first half of the beta read for this book, and I am obsessed. I cannot wait for the rest of the beta read. She's currently aiming to get the book out in November. And that's why I put it in this as the second half of the year, because I will probably also get an art for the book at that point. And I'm excited to reread this book. This book has been absolutely phenomenal at every turn. I want to hold it. I just want this book close to me. I love it so much. I love these girls so much. It's just good. It's just good. On the opposite end of the scale, the biggest disappointment of the year have been both El Príncipe del Sol and The Lord Beneath the Lupins. What can I say, honestly, at this point? What can I say? I did not like El Príncipe del Sol. And granted, some of it might have been me being bitter because I spent a lot of time. This book is in Spanish, and that is a rough second language for me. I spent a lot of time trying to read this book, only for me to be sitting here reading some of the worst just worst teen characters I've ever read in a book. And I believe in the like, let teenagers make mistakes and make terrible decisions in books. But when you have them making genuinely some of the worst decisions I've ever seen before in my fucking life, and then when told, I don't think you are prepared to lead a people. I don't think you have the skill and the knowledge you need to lead a people. His ass is going to say, well, I'm entitled to it, so I don't care. Guillotine. Guillotine. Let me describe some of the decisions that are being made. One of the decisions was they go out into, so in this world there's moon and sun people, and they sneak off to go to the moon people area, and while they're sneaking around, wolves that the moon people, because our main characters are sun people, they're sneaking off into the moon people area. The wolves that the moon people keep as like pets and as just companions attack them, and because they don't want to kill these people that have fire magic, and that they're using their fire magic, and the fire magic's not working, it's not disturbing the wolves are kind of just ignoring it. Because they don't want to kill, they have swords, they don't want to kill, and again, out of pure fucking ignorance, can't seem to process the idea of a flesh wound, of a nick, nothing. They won't use their swords and decide to fist hand-to-hand combat wolves. Do you know how big a wolf is? Wolves are not small creatures, and wolves are not unarmed. Wolves have many claws and sharp teeth that they are trying to kill our main characters with, and yet they don't want to in any way use any form of defense that seems to work, and so they start punching the wolves, and naturally the wolves almost fucking kill one of them. It's like, genuinely, that didn't have to happen. That really didn't have to happen at all. There was also, because they're not supposed to be in the moonland. Aaliyah is what it's called. They're not supposed to be there. There's a whole, there's strict boundaries. No one's supposed to be crossing over. But while they're there, they find some information to help them with their main quest. They bring it back to the main council, and instead of trying to figure out how to explain what this piece of paper, which is essentially a lullaby, a children's story from Aaliyah, instead of trying to think of any way to explain how they got it and why they think it's important, they just go up to these grown adults. Hey, here's this lullaby. We should go investigate because I think this lullaby is real. Here's this lullaby. Let's go check it out. And when the adults are like, what the fuck are you talking about? The kids are like, very suspicious that you don't want to investigate this lullaby. I have no seeming amount of evidence to prove is meaningful. Suspicious of you. Are you behind everything? I could beat their ass. It's genuine to the point of, plot armor is the only reason why any of this shit goes for them. They that is the exclusive reason why any of this goes well for them. And I hated it. I hated these characters. I DNF because I could not stand them, and I would not tolerate them, and I would not sit there while this dude's like, well, I'm entitled to a crown. I don't have to be good at anything. I don't have to be good at ruling my people. It's my crown anyway. I hated these characters. Lore Beneath the Lupins, I couldn't stand it because it was just not nearly as well written as, the first 3 books in the series were good. The rest weren't. Book 4 and 5, it felt like the author was trying to get more into bigger than a cozy mystery kind of things with these characters, and maybe I should have seen it coming with a conspiracy theorist character, but I feel like plenty of conspiracies were happening in the local setting, but they decided to go into much bigger things, and I just don't think the author was doing a good job of implementing the exposition of the story, because it's always one murder that's local and that we can try to kind of figure out, and then it's a bigger thing that we're finding out about as we go along, but that means we have to exposition dump every 3 pages, and none of it was the actual genuine mystery, the big mystery, that the big conspiracy that was going on was just poorly done as well. It was just I just did not like it. I did not like The Lord Beneath the Lupins at all. Uh, Up next, again, opposite end of the spectrum, going back to the good side. Biggest surprise was A Crimson Covenant again. So this is like a vampire werewolf book. I have not really read any vampire werewolf books. I was never super into that as a kid, and so I was a little hesitant about reading this book, but I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I want to read the rest of it, and I need to read the rest of this book. It sounds so good. It's been so good because I have read like the first half. I'm just dying to finish this book. It's great. Uh Favorite new author, debut or new to me, Ness Brown, because The Scourge Between the Stars was just breathtaking as a story. And maybe that is because I am fairly new to horror, but I don't care. I loved it. I had a great time reading it. I like just ate that book up. I want to read more Ness Brown, and because of this book, I am very much dying to read a lot more horror, which feels like it's a sign of a good book to me. I don't know. Next, newest fictional crush, Anthony from Babel. If you've read Babel, I feel like I don't need to explain. Just the vibe. His vibe, immaculate. Newest favorite character, Rami from Babel. Again, if you've read the book, I feel like I don't need to explain. His vibe, 10 out of 10, Rami. Oh my god, we love these boys. Books that made me cry, Babel. Again, if you've read Babel, I don't need to explain. I also, again, picked up this book at like key point in my life, so I think that had helped with it. And then I also cried reading Maybe You Never Cry Again by Bernie Mac. I listened to the audiobook and I miss Bernie Mac. So yeah, I cried. More books that could make you cry. Imani and Aaliyah's Fashion Bible. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. It's great. It's a great book. We've got a horrible home situation, horrible abusive mother. Classic. We've got just also like teary romance moments. Like some of the some of the I love you kind of things. Those are pretty emotional too in this book. We've also got the Queen of Thieves series. Also by me. Yeah, again, bad family situations, trauma, depression. It's a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of not fun in these books, but there's more fun too. Books that made me happy. Moonlight Garden. I started this last year and finished it in January, and I thought it was just a really great concept, really fun, interesting story. It's the idea that there are these women who are born with a seed, and that means that once a month they're going to bloom and tattoos are going to sprawl over their body, and they're going to feel like extreme lust and pain, and if they do not have sex with another woman, then they die. And that is like that was just a really interesting concept to have as a story. I loved it. I hate webcomic formats. I like not like the like scrolling format. I hate the like watch 3 ads to get 2 ink, download and play this game and do this many achievements to get 100 or some ink. It feels like we tried to fix the problems of capitalism with more capitalism, and I don't think it's actually a proper solution to like people not being able to afford web comics and stuff like that. I would recommend this book significantly more if I did not vehemently hate those types of formats and stuff so bad. Because like it feels like the idea of it is to get someone addicted to something else that they probably can't afford in order for them to make an attempt at being able to have access to these stories, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Next, most beautiful book I've bought or received so far. I really like the covers for these Amy Donnellan books. A Crimson Covenant, though I don't know if that's actually going to be the proper cover. I know that was some character art she had made a while ago. But that, and then that is the official cover of Survivor Stance. I like both of them. Okay, and now for the scary slides. What books do I need to read by the end of the year? I have, if you've seen, I don't know what stream it would have been, but I have said before, I am trying to focus my reading on authors that have spoken up about like genocide and whatnot, because I feel like that is a solid bare fucking minimum. And that has pulled a lot of things off of my 5-star book draft, as well as some of my other TBRs. And so these next two slides are what remains of my 5-star book draft. And this is like speaking out against the genocides. If you like actually use those platforms, if you haven't been on like Instagram in like months or whatnot, or if you post once a month, if you post like once a month, I believe that's from like an app that posts for you. And you know, but if you're not active on the apps, then I'm not going to expect you to do a thing you're not, like, does that make sense? Like, if you're not present on the apps, I'm not going to expect you to be present on the apps. But so either if you're active, you are speaking out. If you're not active, then I have some people who are not active or not seemingly active on social media on here as well. So we've got Hospital Hansong. We got Godzilla Rates Again, Decolonized Therapy, Whispers of Shadows and Starlight is this one here. House of Badwi, She is a Haunting, which is horror, which I'm so excited for. Minor Detail, Content Warning Everything, When the World... Oh, Begin the World Over. The End of August, and A Magic Steeped in Poison. And then next page, we've got Tell Me How It Ends, Pierced by Horn, Eva y Carol, Detectivas, Unwieldy Creatures, Everyone's Thinking It, Siren's Call, Glitter and Kindling, The Battle Drum, which I've started. I've just been reading it really slowly because I'm super backed up on book streams. I think I have 3 or 4 that I need to get around to. Babel, No One's Gonna Take Your Soul Away, The Scourge Between the Stars, and The Labyrinth Beckons. So I've 4 streams I need to catch up on. And so I've been reading pretty slowly. And then we also have In the House of Transcendence and Pet by Kwaki Imezi. And more books that I've read, but that you should read by the end of the year. Maybe going into next year. We'll see how it goes. The Queen of Thieves. There are 4 books out currently. With a 5th book coming on the way. Probably not this year, but it's coming. It's coming. I'm working on also getting these on Itchio, so that way people can grab free copies. But I have some reformatting to do, so it's taken some time, but it'll happen. We also have Sapphic Blooms, which is the Sapphic Erotica collection I wrote and participated in. That's also available. And once again, Imani and Aaliyah, Fashion Bible. That one you can get for free already. Link down below in the Itchio link. But that is all in terms of my mid-year check-in. Like I said, if I have any semblance of self-control, my next stream should be Babel. And hopefully it won't be too late. But that is all for me for now. Thank y'all so much for watching. And until next time, valedictions, friends.